Is this thing on? Hey, I am Mrs. B, the art teacher, and I started posting these videos that you see, all the little art videos, because I was trying to reach my own elementary school kiddos. I teach about 900 kids from K to 4th grade, but I have seen quite a few of my former students in 5th grade and 6th grade comment on that they drew something with me, which makes me pretty happy. Um, I've seen another teacher tell me, well, she posted that she drew one of my um, videos, which I thought was pretty cool. And I'm hoping that they're helping. I wanted to give you a couple of tips and tell you about mediums that you may or may not have at home, but just give you tips for later in life or right now in case you don't know. If you have crayons and markers, the best way to get your stuff to look really good is to draw in pencil, of course, because we always draw in pencil first, okay? And draw soft. When you're drawing, you can trace back over your lines with a marker and then color the insides with crayon. Markers do not color very well unless you are very, very, very careful. I don't like to use marker to color with in my classroom unless I give them a little tutorial about how to color with markers. So if you're coloring with markers, you usually want to color in lines like this. You don't want to go back and forth because then the coloring will look really choppy and it doesn't look so good. So you want to color in lines, okay? I just like the way outlining with marker, which is tracing over with your pencil lines, and coloring with crayon looks better. Another one is if you want to get some really good, like maybe later, not when money's so tight, because everybody's having a hard time right now during this coronavirus thing, which is why I started making the videos, because I'm not at school teaching my own class. Little background about me, by the way, if you don't know, I've been teaching at the same school since my very first year of teaching. I'm going on my 20th year as the art teacher. So I practically live in my room. I feel like I live at home and I live in my room. I've been in my room forever. And the good thing about my class is that I get them as kindergartners. I'm going to get them as pre-Kers next year, which makes me a little bit nervous. But I get them as kindergartners, and then they go on every year to have me in art until they get to 4th grade. So I know my kids pretty well by the time they leave 4th grade. And right now I'm missing them, and I started this because I thought maybe they'd want to see a familiar face. And, I have some little friends who just love art and need it, and maybe need ideas or something to do besides, sitting around, or just to give a little option. So that's how I kind of started this whole channel. But let me go on about the medium. So we talked about marker, and if you're going to buy markers, buy washable markers, and they don't have to be really expensive ones, but Crayola brand is pretty good. So if you buy washable markers, you can use them as paint. You just have to make really thick lines. So if you have a flower, okay, you draw on a flower and you know around it's going to be green, you're going to have to trace the flower with a really thick line of, let's say it's going to be pink, a thick line of pink. And if the middle is yellow, well then the circle that you make for the middle is probably small enough for you to just color it with marker and it'll be fine. But if you didn't, you could outline the yellow middle, the circle. But then on the other side of the circle, for the flower part, you'd have to outline outside of the yellow line, if that makes sense. I'll probably have to show you a little demonstration. I don't have markers on me right now, or I would. But around the outside, so hey, say, I'm going to do it with my finger. If this is your yellow circle, right on the outside of it, if that's going to be pink, because your flower is going to be pink, so let's say you've outlined the line for your flower, and then you outline around the outside of the yellow circle, And then you can take water and a paintbrush. Kind of take the extra water off your paintbrush, okay, and put it on the marker lines. So that pink line that is outside the yellow middle, if you take it and you pull to the inside of your flower with your paintbrush, it will make it look like watercolor. But you need enough of it. So that's why we outline the flower itself, because then you can pull from that pink and pull it inward, and pull from this pink and pull it this way. So essentially you are basically pulling like this so that you can fill in your flower. What about the yellow circle middle? Well, you just put your brush and you pull it towards the inside of your circle to fill in the yellow, if that makes sense. The tricky thing about this is, like, if you had green all the way around your flower, you'd have to outline your flower in green. So you'd have two lines. You'd have a pink line and a green line. And the green line would have to go outside because you're going to pull from that line with water in your paintbrush to make the paper around it green. So the more lines you have, you don't want to just put random ones all over, but the more lines and the thicker they are, the better they work. And I will definitely, this is really hard to explain without showing you, but I will definitely show you the technique. But it's a great, not so messy, like parents love it because it just is easy to clean up and you don't have to break out a bunch of messy paints and stuff. But you never want to get the marker wet because then the marker doesn't work right. You definitely have to outline everything first and then take your paintbrush and put it on the top of the marker line and just paint with it. It's really cool, actually. So I would suggest Crayola washable markers. They have to be washable or it doesn't work, because those are the ones that bleed in color. Okay. And then I'm not sure what mediums you have at home, but when I do these videos, it's just intended for whatever medium you have at home. And I'm very sorry that my parrot always wants to talk over me, which is why I go really fast and I don't go back and erase my pencil lines, because usually Kiki's talking, my parrot, and she's loud. So I just want to if I have any of my own students watching, I just want to let them know that I love them and I miss them. And to my former kids that are watching, I miss you guys too. And there's a couple, you know who you are, who've already reached out to me. But I'm going to add some more videos, but please give me some suggestions and let me know what you want to draw, because I'm trying to do some doodles in there besides like lessons, like hardcore lessons. I'm trying to do some easy stuff where you can just follow along and make a panda, or follow along and make Batman, which I love Batman, by the way. And if you don't have me as a teacher, I just have to say that I joke around a lot. I mess with kids a lot. Kind of missing that. But I have a weird sense of humor, just a little bit. So I just want to let you know, in case you're not my student. And if you're not, thank you for watching. And I will try to post some more videos as quick as I can. Thanks so much, and stay safe and wash your hands.